mysterious and sort of brand new world, and it's not like we're fighting aliens. That's not what the show's about. It's really about colonization, and sort of for us, almost every country in the world has either been a colony or a colonizer, and that's what our show's really exploring.
You guys have shot some high concept, high budget shows before, some together, some not. How do you think the viewer should watch the show? We're a digital trans outlet. Do you watch it on the phone, or is it a big screen type of experience?
It's a big screen. Oh, they're all big screen experiences, but use what you got.
It always struck me as funny that people like, I had somebody say I watched all of Lost on my phone, and I'm like, no, no. I mean, the show is actually very cinematic, and Jeff Jar, our DP, just won the Emmy for Bessie, and it's beautiful. It's visual. It's like, I hope you'll watch it at least on the new giant iPad, minimum.
And we partnered with Legendary as well, so their
Legendary
is added to that.
As a follow-up to that, is there a specific scene that you could tease us with that this is something worth keeping your eye out for?
They're all worth keeping your eye out.
Yeah.
I would say the very end of the pilot. Sort of towards the end of the pilot, we do have a little touch of science fiction that I think teases the world that we're in, and that's cool.
So, what do you feel like is about the series that's going to resonate well with viewers?
I think these are the themes of the show. I think our audience is so well educated now with science fiction and genre storytelling that a lot of, everything always has, this is like this and that, but I think it's the themes of the show that we're exploring: colonization, occupation, living under a police state or a militarized government, that we haven't really seen done in a science fiction world necessarily before. And I think seeing similar stories told where the rules are entirely different than most other stories, I think is really going to be what kind of hooks in the fans and makes the show unique.
And it's a character study. Ultimately, it's not the big flashy war that the normal genre would begin with. This is further in, and so it becomes about not the flash of the, oh my God, what's happening. It's the after effects of that, and the decisions you have to make, the moral compromises to survive. And ultimately, it's one of the oldest stories in human history. It's about occupation, about colonization. We've either been occupied or occupied somebody else throughout human history. So these themes, I think, is what the audience is going to grasp onto, because it's not it's an old human story.
It looks like it's a very physical role for you, at least from the trailer. Do you do a lot of stunts in it? Seems like you would. That's what I figured.
Yes, he's on a journey, and but it's not a superhero show.
Right.
It's not physical in that way, but it gets physical, and he's in desperate situations, and he's an ex-military FBI agent. But he was more of a man hunter, more of a mental. He can do the physical, but it's more about putting puzzles together. That's his superpower, if you will.
But we beat the hell out of him.
Okay. And they beat the hell out of me.
Has it been difficult, that physical part for you?
Yes and no. Actually, no. I love physical action and so forth. I grew up with 3 brothers in the country, so for me that's like putting on an old pair of jeans. Getting older, so recovery is different.
And you work out, you train, does martial arts, he does a lot of work, hikes. This guy's in good shape. We put him through the paces, and he was fantastic.
I love that.
These are my personal curiosity. What kind of martial arts do you do?
Jiu-jitsu right now. Don't ask me why I started jiu-jitsu at 46. Wow. Just call me Swifter. They just cleaned the mat with me. But I'm learning. I'm getting meaner. But I was also Taekwondo. I did 100 black in that. And I dirt bike and snowboard.
How did you pick the martial arts you picked?
They picked me, kind of. I started with Taekwondo because I wanted to spar, and that really brings the bull out, and you get used to being calm in that, and also cinematically, those big kicks and stuff work. Now things are changing, and it's much tighter. The action scenes, the fight scenes are different. They've evolved. So, jiu-jitsu I just got into because I have 2 children. I spend all my time on the ground. Let's just get better at groundwork.
Mr. Cuse, what can you tell us about, because you done Lost, then you have been on Bates Motel, vampires also, now kind of aliens. What's kind of wrong with you with all this?
I've been wanting to ask him that forever. Thank you.
My mind is a dangerous playground. I don't know, I mean, it's, you just have to, I think as a writer and as an artist, you just follow, your interests. And in the case of Colony, Ryan and I had worked on another project called The Sixth Gun together, and we just started talking about what we might do next. And it's almost even hard to remember exactly how we got on this track, but we ended up sort of kind of getting more and more specific about how we would redo something in this sort of occupation, invasion type of show. And just, I don't know, I just love storytelling. I love collaboration. I love the process of really working together with another great like-minded writer on figuring something out, and suddenly these things emerge. I don't know.
How was
I can't.
working with Guillermo del Toro?
What?
How was working with Guillermo del Toro?
Oh, Guillermo is really one of the most visually talented guys I've ever met in my life, and it was really interesting to work with someone who's so imaginative and translates his ideas into visual imagery so beautifully.
And that's it. Sorry, guys.
Okay, sorry.